I mean, I think he's been an inspiration to everybody, not just this organization, who knows his story. I think about the last time we were in Detroit at the gala, and they showed a video about Nick and the things that he went through, and the attitude that he maintained every single day going through, what he was going through, and how he always tried to find a positive. As tough as things were, as difficult as it was, he never allowed himself to give into it, and every single day he fought. And to me, like that's the nature of life. That's the nature of sport to a lesser degree, obviously. It's like every opportunity, no matter the ups and downs, you never give in. You continue to fight and try to be an inspiration the way Nick was.
Moving on to the game tonight. Last time you guys played the Knicks, Isaac said something like he felt like a lot of the offensive identity this year was actually due to the Knicks series. Is there any kind of truth to that in terms of how you guys play?
I mean, it just was, again, the job they did against us defensively. How we were kind of, they did a great job of taking away what our strengths were because of the way that, they shrunk the floor. And because, we were pretty predictable. We were really good at it, but you knew where our attacks were coming from. So it did open our eyes a little bit in a way where we needed to diversify that and be a little bit more harder to find and difficult to guard and come at you from different points of attack. So, you try to learn from everything, and we took that as a learning lesson.
Chris.
Hey, JB.
What's up, Chris?
You guys last year were 20th in the NBA in defensive rebounding percentage, and this year you're top 10, and a lot of the personnel is still the same. So have you changed, your principles when it comes to rebounding, or what do you feel like has led to the uptick?
It's just been something from training camp and day one that we emphasized. And everything we try to do offensively, defensively, tries to work in concert with one another. And for us, our offense starts when we defensive rebound the ball. So all the changes and the things that we implemented offensively, everything we did to begin with started with a rebound. Being able to convert from defense to offense more quickly and increase our pace a little bit. Obviously, we'll never be the helter-skelter teams that you see, but we wanted to be able to increase our pace. So rebounding the ball was the way. And one of the things that we keep talking about with our guys is trying to get clean rebounds, right? So not rebounds that are contested and bobbled, like doing your job in advance to create that pocket where we can get clean rebounds and getting out and running. So it's just something we've been emphasizing from day one.
And then what's the status for Donovan and Karras tonight?
You have the answer to that.
Well, it said to ask you pregame.
That's what it said? That's what BJ's note said?
Yeah.
They're questionable.
Joe.
How important is the second seed to you?
Our focus is just winning what's in front of us, to be honest with you. Obviously, you want to finish as high as you can, and, being able to maintain, home court for as long as you can is obviously important. You understand the advantages of a Game 7 being at your place. But it's not something that, we've talked to the guys and said this is what we have to do. Our mindset is, we're in the thick of it, and we got 17 games this month, I think it is. And our focus is showing up every single day, taking care of business. And if we do that, those types of things will take care of themselves.
Jason.
The Knicks obviously are really big up front. Chicago inserted Drummond basically for you guys. Why do you have two really good 7-footers, but they don't have the mass. So why does the size, do you think, get to you guys sometimes, and how do you combat that?
Sometimes, it does come down to strength. And again, Drummond is one of the elite offensive rebounders or rebounders in this league and the history of this game. So that is kind of an outlier as well with him. But again, it comes down to our big guys also have help mindsets. So a lot of times on penetrations or shots, they're finding themselves towards the ball. So now as they're coming in, their offensive big has an advantage because they can hit and go find. So I think sometimes, our aggression bites us in the butt when those shots come up and they are missed. But again, I think we've all seen we've done better rebounding the basketball. But it is, on occasions where if we give up penetration and our bigs feel like they have to help more, that's when we're more susceptible to giving up those offensive boards.
James. No? Evan?
JB,
It's been a while. You guys played them on Halloween and November 1st, but they've made some moves. I know OG's not available tonight, but they've gotten Bogdanovich, they've gotten Burks. What have you noticed, and you don't have to reveal too much for competitive nature's sake, but what have you noticed differently from New York from the last time you've played them? It's just been so long.
I mean, it's, right now, without Randall, it's a lot of Jalen Brunson. Not that, he wasn't heavily involved, but the majority of their stuff now goes through him. And, obviously he's proven, that he's capable of carrying a team. But there's a lot of different actions for him, not just pick and rolls. There's a lot of screening actions for him now. So we have to be alert for him in different places, kind of like we talked about the diversity of our offense. I think they've done a good job of that. And then their second unit with Burks and with Bogdanovich obviously can play with a ton of space. And you got two guys who are veteran players who know exactly what their game is and how they can impact the game, and they get to that.
And you've had experience with Isaiah Hartenstein tonight before, but he's really stepped up as the starting center for the Knicks. Are you surprised at all that he's playing?
No, not at all. He was really good for us when we had him here. Obviously, we had a ton of big guys at that time, but I'm not surprised at all by what he's been able to accomplish because, when the minutes, everywhere you look, when he got opportunities, he was successful and took advantage of it. And he's the type of player that the longer you leave him on the floor, the more good things just typically start to happen. So I'm not surprised at all, and I'm happy for Zay.
Monica.
Coach, when you look at the minutes Josh Hart is now playing in the starting lineup for the Knicks, just how do you prepare for a guy that's all over the place?
He's also, the heart and spirit for that team. So what our focus is trying to keep him out of the game and not let him make the hustle plays and outwork us that get the Knicks going. You got to keep him off the boards because he does a great job of crashing and his team feeds off that. Defensively, when he rebounds and pushes and gets them in a transition, his team feeds off of that. Defensively, when he's guarding the ball, he gets a charge, a steal, a deflection. That brings energy, and his team feeds off that. So we're going to try our best to eliminate those types of plays, because we're not going to allow him to outwork us.
Okay. Anything else in the room? All right. Last one, Chris, and then Tom.
JB, George has been in a little bit of a funk offensively. I think he's in single digits in 6 of the last 8 games. Are you seeing anything that is contributing to that, and what's your level of concern on that?
I've got no concern. I know George. We'll find it, and when it matters most, I know he'll be ready to go, and he'll be there to make his play. So some of those things happen from how I've played him, so that's part on me, and I've got to do a better job of help putting him in positions to be more comfortable, to be more aggressive, allow the ball to be in his hands a little bit more. So that's on me.
Jimmy, in like the last 12 hours, we've seen LeBron hit 40,000 and Caitlin Clark become the greatest scorer in college history. Just as a basketball fan, how much do you appreciate those kinds of moments and that kind of greatness?
Yeah, it's fun to watch, and again, like growing up as a fan of basketball and not just seeing it, from a coach's perspective. Like, you love to see records be broken. You love to see people be great, and that's, to me, is what sport is all about. Is watching and cheering for those people who are great. And I know, sometimes you see people on the outside that just start hating on greatness for whatever reason. But growing up in it with my dad, like livelihood depending on it, like, how hard it is to be great, whether you're an individual or a team. So all you do is appreciate and respect those people that put the time in, have the good fortune, lucky enough to be in the right spot, right teams, all those things. But like teams that accomplish and sustain greatness, like, that's what all this is about. And, having kids and all that stuff, like, those are the things that you want them to see and hope that one day, whatever it is that they decide to do, like, they can put the time, the care, have the passion for to become that. And I think that's the standard that Caitlin and LeBron, have started. And hopefully, you'll continue to see people keep striving for it, and only greater things will happen.
Okay. It's going to wrap up.